everyone. How you all doing? This is a bit of an experiment here because I'm actually streaming on 2, possibly 3 different pages, and I'm also streaming on YouTube, all simultaneously. So this is going to be very interesting. But enough waffle from me. This is a stream where I'm going to finish the SkaBurst mix that I started the other day. If you watched the video, then that's great. If you didn't, you can go back and catch up on it, and I'll be uploading the whole first mix onto YouTube later on. It's also on my Facebook wall. Yeah, so let's start this by listening to where we got to last time. So let me go to my different view. There we go. Ah, hello Jace, hello Will, hello Matt. Yeah, let's see whether all of that works anyway. If it drops out at all, let me know, because this is a bit of an experiment with the multicast thing. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic. Enough waffle from me, and let's listen through to the song from where we got up to last time. So here we go.
But
So there we go. That's where we got up to last time. No, this isn't my song. This is a band called SkaBurst, and I'm doing them a mix. Hello, Bruno. Hello, Coco. How you doing? Yeah, so there's a few things listening back to that with fresh ears that spring to mind. I'm hearing some flamming on the snare drum, which I think is caused by two things. The first thing is the room and the overhead mics. If you remember back to the first video, if you watched that right back when I was kind of setting up the mix, I was playing about with these plugins called the in-phase plugins, where I was kind of lining up the snare drum with the overheads and the snare drum with the room mics to stop any kind of timing issues or flamming. And then what I did at the end is I kind of split the difference so it still had a bit of a room feel to it. But I actually think that is not particularly good, so I'm going to put it back to setup A. Luckily on these plugins there's a setup A and a setup B, so I can just recall. If you look here, it's got the delay at minus 1.34 milliseconds, and if I click on setup A, it goes back to minus 2.68, is that? Yep, that's my eyesight there, 2.68. I'm going to do the same on the room, so I'm going to bring them back in completely in phase. So that's minus 8.59 milliseconds. If you want to see how I did all that, that's actually on my YouTube channel from the other day, where I was basically getting the overheads and the room mics to line up properly with the close mics, so there wasn't any flamming. So that's the first thing I think that's causing it. And the second thing is the triggered bass drum that I put in has got quite a lot of slap on top of it, probably way too much. And I think because there's a lot of times when the bass drum and the snare drum are playing together, they flam. I think if I take some of the slap out of it, it's probably going to sound better. So I'm just going to solo the bass drum for a minute. Yeah, it's far too much slap. Get a wide cue around the slap and just take some of that out. So that's what it was. And that's what it is. I've just made it a little bit softer. So we'll have a listen to all the drums together and see whether it stops some of that flamming. That's a lot tighter now. So for example, if I go back on the room mics, and change it back to the way we had it, yeah, I'm just getting a tiny bit of flamming. It sounds alright on the room mics and it sounds alright when the drums are on their own, but I think in the song it's annoying me. And again, the overheads, if I change them, see, that's more noticeable when I move the overheads than the room. Maybe I could still split the difference on the room, but for now I'm just going to keep it as tight as possible and just have a listen through to the song with those adjustments and check that I haven't gone too mad on the bass drum or anything like that. Okay, yeah, that's sounding a lot better for me. See you later, Matt. Okay, next things, there's just some procedural things I'm going to do. So this is the stereo out. This is the final left and right output for all of it. And at the moment, I've got the CLA mixdown plugin and an L2 limiter. which are just stopping it clipping. They're not doing a huge amount, or they shouldn't be. Sorry, this is doing quite a bit, but the L2 should. Which you can see there, it's not even hitting any kind of attenuation at the moment. That's just to stop it distorting to you. But I'd always have the L2 on the end of the final output chain anyway, just to stop any clipping. So I'm going to move that right to the end, the L2. And I'm going to put another plug in here before it, which I'm just going to do use a studio EQ, one of the built-in Cubase plugins, which I'm not going to use for any kind of EQ at all. I'm just going to use it to turn the level up and down. And I'm going to use some automation here. So if I come down to the stereo out channel, in fact it will help if I move the stereo out channel right to the top, because then I've got maximum amount of screen room. And I select it onto read, so I'm now reading what's going on here. And then I'm going to choose what I want to automate. So I'm going to go to select the insert, go to Studio EQ and go to Output L, which I assume is output level. So if I bring this plugin up here and I pull this output level down, yeah, you can see the output level there is going up and down. So with this, I'm just going to turn the whole mix up and down at certain points. That's all I'm going to do, just turn the whole mix up and down by maybe 2 dB down in the verse, and then 1 dB up from that to -1 dB for the bridges, and then the choruses back up full again to try and add in some extra dynamics to the song. So let's see how that works. So where's the first place? So it happens there on that bar there. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down just to, I mean, that doesn't have to be perfect, -2.06. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it in the wrong place. I want to be doing it here on this plugin, not on the final output. So I'm going to pick that there and -2.1, that's where it wants to snap to. That's close enough for me. So that should now drop in level. So here is where the bridge starts, so I'm going to bring the level back up here to -1, oh well, -0.9. If I expand this out, you see why I dragged the stereo out to the top now, so that I could have some more space. I might be able to get it a bit more accurate. So -1, there we go. And I'll make these -2s a real -2. It just doesn't want to snap on -2, never mind. It's good enough. Okay, so the principle being is we're literally just turning the whole mix up and down at certain points. Spend all my money to the next payday, but for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Right, so we're kind of back to the main kind of riff of the song now, so I'm going to push that back up like a chorus, back up to 0 dB. This is the next verse, so I'm going to bring it back down again to oh, it wants to go on -2 now, does it? Okay. I doubt anyone's going to notice 1 dB, minus 0.1 dB. But no, Bruno, it's not my song. It's a song by a band called SkaBurst that I'm mixing.
Just to do it all again. Cancel.
And then this to -1.
Cancel Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
And then here's the chorus. So now we're going to go back to 0 dB again.
Call me Bob, call me Joe. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me Bob, call me Joe. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
Right, so we're back to a verse here. So I'm going to bring that down. To -2.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Cancel.
Right, there's a bridge again. So back to -1. Let's get easy.
Cancel Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
And then here we go. I'm going to go up to 0 dB again.
Day or two. Call me Bob, call me Joe. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me Bob, call me Joe. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
Right, at this point it goes a bit spacey, so I'm going to treat it like a verse. I'm just going to bring it down 2 dB. We'll try and get past. And that comes in there. So we've gone off the click now, so I'm just going to bring that up. Back to 0 dB for the end. I'm going to try and bring this over to around there. I'm going to bring this back to there, so that fade up is a little bit longer. Okay, so what I've done there, as you can see, is I've put a load of dynamics into the song by turning bits and pieces up and down. And then this here, which is the plugin that happens after it, if I go to one of the loudest bits of the song, like here.
My dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me Bob.
What I really want to do is kind of squash it a little bit with this. So this readout here is kind of generally hitting about -2.5, -3.
Call me Joe. I'm not working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Oh, call me Joe. I'm not working, but
So what it's going to do is it's going to push into that compressor and squash it a bit, but it will squash it less in these places, so you'll feel a little bit more breathing room in the verse and then a little bit less breathing room in the bridge, and then of course the full squash in the loud bits. And that's the theory. And then if you think you've gone too far, which I think that might be just a little bit too extreme, I can just grab all these ones on the bottom there like that and just move them all up a little bit. So I could say I want to go to minus 1.7 there. I'm going to grab all these little in-between ones here that do the bridges and bring them up a touch to maybe minus 0.8. So I've just kind of brought in what I was doing just a little bit. I should say this is something you can also do in mastering. A lot of people will do this in mastering. They'll chop the bits of the songs, but I'd rather just do it on the mix and give it to a mastering engineer with, you know, not too much compression, but just a little bit of limiting, so that if they don't do it, then at least I know it's been done. So I'm going to give this a full listen through again, turn my mic off, and then do some more bits and pieces. So here we go.
Taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel taxes going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
To answer your question, Ben, because you missed the start, no, the stereo out there, I put a just an EQ plugin that I didn't have any EQ on it, just automating the output before the final limiter to add some dynamics. So when it hits these places, it's not going to limit as much, but when it hits the loud places, it will limit more. And I think that worked really nicely. I could feel here I've got it up reasonably loud, but not too loud that it's blowing my ears, but I could really feel the difference when it hit those bits. It added a lot of atmosphere to it. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some reverbs on the drums. I was avoiding doing that because I want to stay tight, but I think the snare and the toms could just do with a little bit of a reverb. So, excuse me. Right, I'm going to go to my the effects channel and just whack in an reverb, and that reverb there, which is down here, I'm going to drag it up to near the drums, just so it's near there, and I'm going to send it to the all drums group. So if we solo that, it'll also solo the reverb as well. And I'm going to pick to start with a preset. I'm just going to go to the factory. I'm going to go and get a plate. I absolutely love plate reverbs. That'll be my starting place, and then I'm going to push the pre-delay up to maybe sort of like, I don't know, 40 milliseconds, something like that, around there. 41 I've got. That'll do. So let's see what happens if I start putting some of that reverb on the snare through a send. 1 second. There we go. So I want the input to go into that more, so I'm bringing up the mixing desk. That was F3 if you're using Cubase, but if you're using something else, it won't be. And I want to send some more gain into the reverb, so I'm just going to sort of up it by 10 dB. So I don't have to then turn it up so loud on the send here. Again, the toms, just putting some of the toms. Because the toms are grouped, whatever I do on one will happen on the other, which is cool. A bit too much on the toms there. How much do I have on the snare? I was at -7.51, so I want something maybe a touch less on the toms. Still a little bit too much there. Yeah, it feels more natural. Generally, I find that the same amount of reverb sent to the toms as you'd have on the snare doesn't work. You need a lot less on the toms because they naturally ring more. So let's listen to that in context with the song. I'm going to push the pre-delay a bit more just to see what that makes. If I push it up to 60 milliseconds, see whether it gets too slapbacky. Time down a bit. Okay, so let's get into some more automation here. There's places where the sax needs to be a lot louder and places where they need to be quieter. So I'm going to go through and do some obvious adjustments, just starting with the sax for now. So at that point, that's a lovely level for them there, I think. And at this point, I'm going to mark out where I want it to change. I'm also going to mark out where I want it to come back.
Council tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now, dear.
Which I think is there. That's where the vocals finish. And the sax is on its own. So what I've done is I've marked the beginning and end pointers of where I want the automation to be, and then I'm going to put a little mark each side of that and bring that whole section down a little bit, and let's see whether that's the kind of right level for it.
Cancel tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
Ah, it's a little bit premature there. Sorry, not premature. I need to move these over to here because they go back up at that point.
Don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
So I just copied the same movement there. I'm going to put it back to where I wanted it last time, which is there.
Council tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're right.
little bit of spittiness happening on those vocals there that I just want to trim out. They've been annoying me. Okay, what next? Yeah, I want to add some sound effects to it, but I'm going to do that in a minute. Let's do some other vocally bits at the moment. I want to do something with these vocals at the end, so I'm going to go to the vocals group where all the vocals are and all the reverbs are and everything, and I want to make them much more spacey. So I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm going to just add in a plugin that I can turn on, something that's an all-in-one plugin like the CLA vocals. And I'm not going to have this on for most of the song, but then at this point it's going to come in and sound huge. So I'm going to up the delay to quarter. I'm going to go to a large reverb on there for now. I'm just guessing for the moment. I'm going to turn off the compression EQ and let's just have a bit of delay and reverb. Yeah, so at that point I've pulled some of the bottom end out of it as well, so it just sounds a little bit further away at that point. It's only a tiny bit. So I'm going to click the right button up here, and then in fact I want to start by having it bypassed. I don't want it on, and I'm just going to unbypass it when we get to that point. And now I've written that automation, so that should come on nicely at that point. And if I bring the volume down on that as well, I can bring those vocals nicely back, and I can change any of the settings, and it will just happen to just these two lines. Trim these up as much as possible. Make the fade a bit more. Right, the delay's not doing it for me. The reverb's nice and the EQ and all the other stuff, but I do want to put another delay in there. So I'm going to bring up this limiter that I've got in the vocal group, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to put in an H delay and automate it to come on for those two lines. Bring the mix down. maybe go for like quarter notes for the moment. I'm going to high pass the delays right high, so right, so we bypass that, click right, go back to the beginning here, unbypass, and then bypass it before the next line comes in. So that should now come on over that bit. I'll come back to that. It might be a bit too extreme at the moment, but I quite like the principle of it. It just might be a bit overkill. Talking of overkill, I was thinking a bit about... I'll start one again. Thinking of overkill. Talking of overkill, I was thinking about putting some delay in places on the drums, but that just might be a whole can of worms for a stream. But anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. I'm just trimming up some of these to keep it tidy. I do like a tidy session. Right, so let's do some sound effects. I've got a folder here of all sorts of little stock audio sounds and stuff and things that I've made myself. The first one that I'm going to drag in is just a drop in pitch. So it's a sine wave that drops in pitch. If I solo this, you'll be able to hear it if you've got speakers that are big enough. Oh, listen to that. That was extreme, wasn't it? Oh, that drops from 80 hertz to 10 hertz. And I don't know whether any of these things are going to work, but I'm going to give them a go. I'm going to turn it down a bit. Oh, that sounds nice. I'm just going to fade out the ends slightly. And I'm going to try and drop that into certain places underneath to transition between sections, and it might sound nice and it might sound awful. But you've got to try these things sometimes. So let me find places where I think it would tastefully fit. Okay, definitely not that loud, but quietly in the background that might work.
Another Wednesday afternoon. Another Wednesday afternoon.
No, doesn't work there at all. For me, I mean, you might like it. No, I'm not convinced. I'm going to mute that idea and might revisit it another time. That was kind of the place where I thought it would happen, but the problem is it's just interfering, it's lasting too long and interfering with the bass. So the other sound effect idea I had was like a reverse cymbal coming in and out of certain places. So let me drag that in and we'll see whether I can make that fit. I didn't want it on the alarm channel. Let me bring it in down here. There we go. Create a new channel. So this is just this. That's all that is. Just a little reverse cymbal sound. I'm going to bring it up above the drums again, just because I can kind of visually see where all the sections of the song happen. So I want it to actually end on that beat. So I'm going to make the whole length of it just one bar long. Then move it all over. What am I doing? Getting all confused now, hang on. Why isn't it moving? That shortcut should move it. No, obviously I'm getting my shortcuts wrong. Never mind. Give me a second on this. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to just line it up like that. So the end is on a 0 marker. That's what I want. Not the best way to do it. I know there's a way of shifting the audio left to right, and I always click it by accident when I don't need it, and then the day I want it, it's not there. That's sod's law. Okay, so that there is a reverse cymbal, and I want to put a phaser. I want to do some EQ on it and a phaser. I'll get rid of all that bottom end. And some of the harshness around probably about 3K or so. Oh yeah, that's horrible. 2.5K, all around there. Let's dip all of that out. Possibly a bit of that as well. That's better. And then I'm going to use the CLA effects over at CLA Effects plugin, which I absolutely love. I'm going to turn everything off except the tape phase. This is what I love this effect for. Lovely. Maybe even more bottom end off it. I'm looking for something really, really small. It'll start to sound a bit like the beginning of that Queen song. I've forgotten what one now. Right, so it can be really quiet, doesn't have to be loud, and I can send it to the all drums group. That's far too quiet now, I can't hear it at all.
Cancel taxis going out today. Spend the drink, I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today.
Right, is he hitting a let's have a listen. How's it? Yeah. Now let's do a play the game. That's the song. Yes, nice one. Glad you remembered. Right, panna, panna, panna. Left, right. I'm going to try and pan it from left to right. A little bit. the real top in on that, so it shills. And maybe a compressor. Just want it to shimmer. SSL comp with no space. Must say I'm not convinced by either of my ideas yet, but okay, so that is working there. Maybe if I copy that. Oh, Alt and Control. Finally I find it. I do it by accident. That's the way it always happens. If I was to just bounce that to a new file and reverse that. Oh, I don't want to. Well, we'll come back to the panning in a minute. Yeah, if I process and go to reverse, then that might give me it the other way round. Might give me something close to what I'm looking for. I see, right. So I need to get it to peak on there and peak on there. I'll put a bit over. After all my lining up, I'm not even using it. And then crossfade those like that. So let's get rid of this, those two middle points there, so it's panning across. Yeah, that might be better. I mean, it might be a nothing thing. I might be thinking that it's going to add so much, and actually in the mix of it, it won't. But let's see. I'm going to turn it up.
The drink, I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money to the next big day. But for
I want this bit here to be up a touch. So I'll increase this one by 2 dB.
do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money to the next big day. But for
It's all right, not the most exciting thing, but yeah, it does add something.
the drink, I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money to the
Let me take it back so I've got it in context. Hello, Trevor.
Another Wednesday afternoon, the same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today.
I like what it does, it just needs to be quieter. I know it's going to be so subtle and most people are going to go, why are you even bothering? But there's just something about it that I think will work.
Same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money to the next big day. But
I know it probably seems crazy even to have it that quiet, but to me it's one of those things, it will be in headphones and it will just add an extra something to the song. And I want it to the same bit where it comes down again here.
up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Up for work at
I'm going to turn the second one down there.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10.
I've got another idea now. Oh, okay, right, here's an idea. What if, to create a little bit more dynamics, I chop the guitars out there? Sorry, Mr. Guitar Man. Want to catch that last bit, just trying to add a little bit more space into this area so when it goes to that verse there's a little bit something's different about it, and I might pull the delay off his vocals. So the delay comes off. Do I want to put something different on it? I want something else in on that. Maybe just put that last guitar stab in there. Nah, doesn't work. It's either in or out. See, this is where I'm fancying doing something on the drums at that point, you know, something delay-wise on the snare. I was saying it earlier, and all of this is reversible, by the way, if it sounds awful, so don't panic if you're listening out there and you're thinking, what's he doing to my song? You know, sometimes you've got to do it all and throw it all in and realise it sounds awful to roll it back again. I want like a triplet type thing on the snare. Yeah. Let's go crazy. Why not? You only live once. So I've roughly automated where I want it on and off. Let's just loop that round. Moment of truth. Will this sound any good or not? Right, two. Let me get it onto a half triplet. That's one. Up for work and half bounce by being bad at 10 to 10. No, it really is not working at all. Up for work and half bounce by being bad at 10 to 10. See, the problem is I'm imagining the beat half the time, and sort of doing some sort of policey thing over it, but I think because it is what it is, it's not the... I should be really quite stoned doing stuff like this, and I'm not. Right, why is it not playing? What's going on? Is it playing to you? Oh, it is. Hang on, my amp's gone off. What's going on here? 1 second. All my sound went off in the room. No. I'm not enjoying that. My amp's gone wrong again. Sorry, it's all going wrong today. Yeah, original reggae style on the drum mix. Yeah, it's kind of what I was going for, but I don't know. It's just not working at the moment for me. Hang on. Could I do it a different way? Is it even worth, come on, someone give me a comment, is it even worth pursuing this idea? Or am I just going around in circles trying to make something work that's just never going to work? How could I get this to work? Right, this is going to be my last try and do something with this. If not, I'm going to write it off as a bad idea. So I've just automated it to come on. I've chopped the snares out in between. Let me get all the drums up. Wondering whether cutting the snare mic out and having some kind of repeat of it. I think it's just too fast. I think it's just there's too much other stuff going on in the beat. If it was played differently with the delay in mind, I think it would work. But no, I'm not feeling that one. Oh well. Never mind. Let me put his snare back. It's worth looking at. Right, I'm going to listen through from start to finish. Make some adjustments, I think, this time on the organ. I want to turn some bits of the organ up at certain points. and that just last couple of chords there goes from the sus4 back to the normal triad, and it sounds beautiful. So I just want to lift that out a touch. Just give it a tiny rise. What are we at the moment? -5. Don't want to go too crazy just yet. Alright, so I'm going to make it kind of ramp in a little bit more. Doesn't even need to be that much. Not sure doing it with the volume is what is best, actually. I put a Leslie plugin over it the other day, and maybe turning the drive up on this a little bit at a certain point, so it's like a Hammond organ when you do the swell pedal. So using that, so if I click on write, will that allow me to write that? Because I know some of these plugins, it is actually following it, that's good. Yeah, because some of these plugins by IK Multimedia don't actually, particularly Amplitude, doesn't actually allow you to just automate. You have to select the knob and then create a MIDI controller for it and all sorts of stuff, and I thought that was going to be a pain in the arse, but luckily it's already good with the gain. So here I have the organ gain here being automated, so I don't want to do anything until here really. Just want to turn the gain up and then back down again. Just like crunches a little bit more on that. What chord is it? E flat sus4 to E flat. I don't like not using the proper names for the chords. I like to know what key I'm in. Right. Yeah, that's nice. Right, it's too much, but yeah, certainly bringing that a little bit out. No, I don't want that. Just want to bring them down.
Another Wednesday afternoon, the same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money.
One sec, my amp's playing up again. Oh. It's got a little input selector knob on it that just keeps going wrong. I need to buy a new one, but we're in lockdown, so.
Cancel Texas.
Again. What with the multicast going wrong, half my ideas being crap, and the amp going wrong, I'm not having a good day today, I tell you. Go on, stay there, you bastard. There we go.
Cancel taxis going today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money.
I want to come back up on these bits here. Gain.
The day or two.
So I kind of want to get that to slowly gain up on that Hammond over that section there, and then drop off when it comes back in.
Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
See, I like the way the organs build at the end of each section like that. They're just giving it a rise when it sort of holds a chord. When it does the sus chords, lovely.
Gotta be up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be.
Okay, I've got a little idea here because I pulled that guitar out, which I was thinking maybe I should put it back in now I'm not doing something crazy on the drums. But I'm actually thinking of, instead of putting the guitar, trying to put the organ in there and just see how that works. There's something I'm trying to create and I'm just not getting it at the moment. And that's entirely my fault.
Past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up.
No. I want to do something in this. I wish it had been played half time. I wish it had come down to half time and then had loads of room to put loads of spacey delays and all sorts of stuff like that on it. That's probably what I would have tried to suggest to them had I been recording the song.
Up for work at 5:30.
Oh, what's... Okay, could I do something interesting with the guitar then instead?
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at.
See, I kind of want the organ to do what the guitar's doing. I just don't want it to be a guitar. I'm wondering if I could change that guitar sound at that point. Yeah, let me change the guitar sound. That might be all that needs to happen. Let me duplicate those tracks, which is probably not the best way of doing it. But right, so I've isolated these now. Clean G2L, clean G2R. going to cut them off for now and put them back on there, but just linking the channels. First thing I do is gate it. I'm going to try and put a gate on it. So got my amp going wrong again, is it? I'm going to go crazy if that does it again. It is. A lovely power amp that I've lent a friend of mine that I need to get back because that will be much better. So yeah. So that gate there tightens it up. I think that's what was annoying me about the guitars. If I take the gate off, there's a lot more ring on them and the reverb from it.
Half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at half past 5 just to do it all again. Can't
Tiny bit of change on those guitars, but it just makes so much more space in that verse now.
Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at half past 5 just to do it all again. Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at half past 5. Up for work at half past.
Chop that out there. Nice little bit of breathiness before that comes in.
Up for work at half.
Right, I'm going to put a different EQ in just for this bit here. Just on the vocal, I'm going to pull off a little bit more bottom end.
Past 5 in bed. Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be.
And just have it for that line. Here we go.
Up for work at half past 5 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at half past 5.
So now that comes on, this EQ here just comes on for that line. And I might put, because I turned off the main delay, but I might put a really, really short slapback delay on it. something like 100 milliseconds or something, with no feedback at all.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at.
Right, I'm getting somewhere now, I think, with what I want to do. Right, what happens if I just pull the overheads out of that section?
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30.
Cool. So if I pull that so it lines up with his toms, so the overheads go in when he hits the toms. Tiny fade in to stop any digital clicks.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10.
What if I pull the rooms, just turn the gain of the room mics down massively at that point, just to give them a different feel.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10.
And turn the hi-hat right up at that point. I just want that to just have a completely different feel. I can't turn that wave up even more. It was a very quiet wave file when I got it. So stop there. I'll turn snapping off. There we go.
Work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10.
Okay, I'm getting there now. We're getting some dynamics. What if I just turn that up to push it into the compressor a bit more?
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Council tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me above. Council tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. My dreams Council tax is going up.
I want to bring the organ gain down there because I've gained it up in some other places, but I actually think it's a little bit too much there. So,
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Council tax. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent.
okay, so this is the next verse. I'm going to chop those guitars out and put them on the track below where I'd had them gated. I don't want to copy them, I just wanted to move them, but never mind.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Council tax is going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a couple of things I did before on that verse as well then. I'll turn the rooms down. Quite a bit.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way.
What's that? Funny little bass drum, yeah. There's a little skipping on the bass drum there. I think that bass drum's a bit too loud.
Wave.
On the trigger.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job.
Okay, what I'm going to do here with these clean guitars, with these verse ones, these stabs, I'm going to delay the right hand side slightly. Let's say by 20 milliseconds. Does that do that on? No, it doesn't do it on the left. That's good. So when we get to that bit, the guitar should widen up.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you.
Okay, and then I need to do the same as I was doing earlier on the vocal effects. So, and on the lead vocal as well. So earlier on in the song, in the verse, I turn that delay off and I turn the EQ and this other thing off, this other thing on here. So I need to repeat that process. Doesn't matter where it is, because
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job text is going out today. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Cancel Texas. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find.
Maybe a little bit more on the delay.
Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Cancel Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but
I'm going way over the top just to hear what I'm. Yeah, I prefer it with a tighter attack time. So I whacked the compression right up there so I could hear what I was doing, hear what effect it was doing. I pulled it back down, but so now I can turn the ambience up a bit without it, and we're not losing the ride and the other bits.
another Wednesday afternoon, the same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a fiver in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 or 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again.
Okay, I'm thinking, because I don't want to do that same thing on the first verse, because I like it coming in there because of the lyrics and the getting up. It's got a different character to it, which means I don't necessarily want to do it on the next verse with the vocals. Right, so for now, I'm just going to turn off all this bypassing and stuff that I did on the next verse. So
working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a way. A job so you can.
I'm going to do the guitar thing in the first verse, where I pull them out, put them on the different tracks.
Another Wednesday afternoon. The same.
To move these down to here.
Another Wednesday afternoon. The same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel. Taxi's going out today.
And then what I might do is I might extend that vocal effect there, so it lasts the whole of that verse. So the whole of that verse sounds like he's singing from a different place.
Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a.
So at the moment it's just that that verse, the second verse, that I'm doing effects on it now.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 or 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do.
Tell you what, that sub bass thing that I was messing around with earlier might work on that verse, because it goes into a spacey thing. Might just give it a bit of a I just want something to change at that point. I want there to be a like it's telling the story, so you feel the whole atmosphere of the song change when he's talking about having to get up early and it being basically a pain in the arse. Otherwise, if the song just carries on as it did, it's not quite as storytelling.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 or 10. Gotta be up for work at 5:30.
Turn those guitars down a bit on that verse. Give it.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10.
Oh, of course I can't. They're gated. I'll do it via automation instead. I was going to grab the wave, but they're gated. So I'll just pull the level down a bit here.
Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 or 10. Gotta be up at. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 or 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel.
Right, so I still want to clean out a tiny bit of the second part of that verse. So I might move them down to this track as well, where the guitar sound was a bit more subtle. Then it it comes back to the full guitar sound there. And I might bring the organ down at this point. Start with the gain and maybe the volume as well. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel Texas going 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. I'll trim some bits in that. Up for work at 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. See you later. Otherwise you're going to sound like Matt Bellamy. Gotta be up for work at 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Right, so organ, I'm still going to bring that down in the volume, not just in the gain, just to touch off the volume as well. Up for work at 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel Texas law. So I'm just reading your comments, Jace. I want to get that organ really spacey sounding. Bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Yeah, I think move the volume increase until later. I'm really stripping out this verse. Up for work at 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. So I don't want the organ to overshadow the guitar. This little volume fade thing to there and really tighten it up so that first da-da that the organ does is not affected. Might even just boost the wave on that a touch so it comes out, and also the sax, bring that out a little bit at that point, just because there's so much space either side of it, it might work. Up for work at 5:30 in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel Texas going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm not working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. so that needs to come out at that point, because that's... I think there it's alright because the sax is playing, but behind the na-nas it would be nice to get that piano bit up.
Taxes going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
Okay, that organ, need to do something with it there. Remember, this isn't volume, this is gain. This is the gain of the virtual Leslie, so it's kind of like the amount of overdrive. I'm really liking that, I must say. I think that is really starting to sound good now, and you know, there's some other bits of ideas, but it's not overdone. You know, I'm glad that second verse is the only place that thing's happening, and that one sub drop I think works nicely there, but in the rest of the song definitely doesn't. The only thing I want to do now is I'm going to duplicate the lead vocal track, so I've got an identical copy, and then I'm going to delete all the bits that are not the chorus.
Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working.
Okay, so that I didn't want to delete that. So that basically I'm going to use to add something to the chorus. Obviously it's an identical vocal, so if I just play them together it will just get louder.
Coming Joe.
Which is not what I want. I don't want to just make it louder. So first thing I'm going to do with this, I can delete this plugin here because I copied it over and none of the effects are going to be happening on that. So I'm going to say chorus double. First thing I'm going to whack on this is the Waves auto tune.
I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
So I'm going to whack over a tuning plugin. Not that he's out of tune. He's got a great voice, and it's not about tuning. It's just about making it sound like a slightly different voice. So I'll solo the double.
Me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away.
And then what happens there is you put it in and it just gives it a slightly phasey thing. Now I'm going to EQ this channel completely differently and treat it completely differently.
Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away.
I'm going to delay that channel by, say, 30 milliseconds, so it's not so weird and out of phase.
Dare to call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me bum, call me joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Next payday, but for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Now today, spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Dare to call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working, but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working.
brought the vocals out and the chorus there, the lead vocals out, just adding a little bit more sort of heavily compressed top end with a bit of delay on it. Right, I'm going to mute my mic so you don't have to hear me breathing, and have a listen through from start to finish, because I think this is sounding really good.
Taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel taxes going out today. Spend all my money.
Sorry for stopping it. I was going to have a full playthrough, but I just want to come that alarm for a second, because now we've created a space in that verse, that alarm can really sound like it's part of the space. So I can maybe make the room slightly bigger. I'd already panned it over a bit, but I can turn it up now because it kind of has a place.
Up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel taxes going out today.
And I also felt that at the beginning, the organ during that first verse was a little bit too loud. So let's...
Another Wednesday afternoon, the same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Out today. Spend all my... Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two.
Okay, and again from the top. Sorry for disturbing it, but I'll just keep hearing things. Here we go.
Another Wednesday afternoon, the same old empty bar. Do you have another drink? I put a $5 in the car. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money dreams, but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
Okay, I'm just doing some minor changes here. So I'm just chopping that clean guitar out and putting it on the clean guitar track a few more times. I didn't get that early enough. Because it changes the sound quite drastically. That's what happens when you edit, when you're not actually listening to what you're editing. Yeah, just because those guitars that get dumped on these tracks, because they're delayed slightly, they're 20 milliseconds delayed to the right, it takes them out of the centre, which allows the sax to come through nicely in that place. At the end there as well. Can you change that bell to an alarm clock bell? Sounds like a fire alarm. Yes, I probably could. 1 sec. Right, so that question asked by James there, can I change it? Yeah, I could. Let me see what I've got in here, whether I've got any alarms in my folder here. If not, I will log into the Freesound project and find one. No, right, give me a new Chrome tab here. This is a great site if you've never used it. You should, because it gives you some great, look what I've been looking for. Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus. Oh, these are programs I've been looking for on TV, I think. What's Childhood Sweetheart? No idea. Oh, I do remember. Yeah, I remember that show. Vibra Slap. love vibra slaps. But I'm not going to get one of those on this song. So alarm clock. Forevermore, alarm clock will be coming up. No. Alarm bell. Sounds okay. That's horrible. School bell. Oh, this has got some ticking in it. But the alarm is horrible. I'm not going to go through on the live stream looking for alarm bells. I'm just going to I'll come back to this off the stream with them. I'll talk to you on the phone and see if you want that changed. Because I could spend all day going through different alarm bell sounds, and that would be the first thing to bore everybody to death. Plus, I've got an Aussie Floyd broadcast to put out in about 40 minutes as well. So let's have a listen through to this where we're at the moment, because I think, apart from possibly changing that alarm, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, I could keep tweaking till I hand it over, but I think it's sounding a lot better than it did at the beginning of the stream. So here we go, play through from start to finish.
Taxis going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Up for work at 5:30, in bed at 10 to 10. Gotta be up at 5:30 just to do it all again. Cancel taxes going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but I'm broke. Chasing my dreams but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today. Working just to stay afloat. Go out and find a wife. A job so you can pay the rent. There must be more to life. Cancel taxes going out today. Spend all my money till the next payday. But for now we don't know what to do. Spend all my money in a day or two. Call me a bum, call me a joke. I'm out working but they're running away. At least I'm happy for today.
And save. I'm not fiddling with that anymore today. I think that sounds pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I need to listen with fresh ears and I'll probably tweak, but I don't think we need another stream with it. If I change a couple of bits, I'll just do that. And yeah, and then I'll put up the final result. So same as last time, I'm going to stop the stream now, finish this, and then I will start the stream again and just play the final song. So if anyone wants to listen to the final thing as a once run through, they don't have to go through the whole video. They can just find the last video I do, which will just be a whole playthrough, and listen to that. So see you again in a minute, hopefully. Goodbye.